Jayam Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jayam Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivare Dhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivare Dhari Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Rama Madhava Kunjam Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Vihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivare Dhari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivare Dhari Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Rama Madhava Kunjam Vihari Jaya Rama Madhava Kunjam Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Savitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadya Deshatarvine. So, they all have their own experience of Prabhupada. Well, I'm one of them. And I also have my experience of Prabhupada. So today I will share with you my personal experience of how Prabhupada touched my life and what he means to me, how he's still touching me this very minute as I speak to you. It's interesting to look at the pastimes of Prabhupada in relationship with me. I grew up as an American kid, going for the American dream. make good grades in school, go to a good college or university, make good grades, get a good degree, get a good job, get a nice house in suburbia, the whole thing. Well, I was going on with the American dream quite nicely, making good grades, getting nice positions in high school, and etc. But then an amazing thing happened. This great personality, the Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, touched foot on American soil. And when he did that, my consciousness changed. I didn't know about him. I knew nothing about it. But when Prabhupada touched foot on American soil, I lost my faith in the American dream. At that point, it's the fall of '65, I was a freshman in college, Austin College in Sherman, Texas. At that point, I didn't care about a degree. I just wanted to know, what is the meaning of life? That's all I wanted to know. I'm making good grades, I was an honor student, etc., but I was not satisfied with the American dream any longer. I was disappointed my teachers couldn't tell me why I exist. So I went through a whole thing and trying to find out self-realization, this guru, that guru, being cheated again and again and again. But in the fall of '68, a friend of mine turned me on to something called the Hare Krishna mantra. And he showed me an article in the Saturday Evening Post, a famous magazine in the U.S. He talked about this person, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. He was giving this mantra. So that was my first connection with Prabhupada, reading about him in the Saturday Evening Post. And then decided, instead of going for a career with my college studies, I decided for another career. I will go to India and become a mendicant in India. That's my career choice. Forget American dream. Sadhu, I want to be an Indian sadhu in India. So on the way, I was in my parents' house for my last visit home before I headed out to the Holy Land. There was a TV show, I think it was called The Hollywood Tatler. And it said, now the Beatles have rejected Maharishi and they've accepted A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami as their guru. So now I heard about it again. Who is this A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami? But I decided, instead of renouncing the world, if you want to renounce the world, well, if you want to renounce everything, well, renunciation is also something. So, to be totally perfect in renunciation, you have to renounce renunciation also. So I headed out. I thought there were some people in San Francisco who were trying to revolutionize the world. I would go and join them. So I headed west instead of east. I went to San Francisco, and I met the Harinam party. They were the first people I met. But I didn't realize they were the ones. These people, a little bit, they chanted the same Hare Krishna that I liked, but they're a little bit too, militaristic, like a boot camp. I wasn't ready. And then I moved across the bay to Berkeley, and one brahmachari named Makanlal Das Brahmachari, he was coming to Berkeley Open Center, and he said, oh, Papa's coming tonight to give a lecture. Please come. He was about 2 blocks away from where I lived, but I'd been cheated by Yogananda, cheated by Swami Satyananda, cheated by Maharishi. They say once burned, twice shy. I was twice burned, thrice shy. Thrice burned, quadruple shy. I don't want to hear none of these gurus, no way. So I wouldn't go to hear Swami Bhaktivedanta, no way. So my relationship with Prabhupada was deny him. No. And later that year, they had gotten a house in Berkeley. One Manaji gave the house to her devotee. She lived upstairs, and the devotees had the whole downstairs. So that Manaji invited me, we're going to Los Angeles to see Prabhupada. Please get in the van and come with us. No way. No. So here I was, denying Prabhupada again and again and again and again. Denying. No. But then I was trying to wonder, how can I become self-realized? But I knew Jesus was self-realized. So what was his secret? Well, I'm studying the Bible, trying to figure it out, and I found it. He says, Father, not my will, but thy will be done. Aha, that's it. You got to do what God wants, not what you want. So I prayed to God, please guide me how I can become your perfect servant. I was in Austin at the time. I was a popular singer-songwriter there in Austin. I had a gig at the popular vegetarian restaurant, the Sattva restaurant, as a house musician. I was popular. So I was pretty puffed up. But at the same time, I was looking. Dear God, please guide me how I can become your perfect servant. And Krishna answered my prayer. He sent one devotee named His Holiness Vishnu Jana Swami to Austin. And he taught me the process of how to become a devotee. So George Harrison just come out with My Sweet Lord. Yeah, that's it. I'll follow George, be a Krishna conscious singer-songwriter like George, yeah. So I was one of these hippies, staying here. I had no money, and just stay here, stay there, or somebody put me up. Hippie life. So devotees said, you can come stay with us. So I didn't want to become a devotee, but I like to come just to learn something by living with it. Vishnu let me move in. Not to be a disciple, just to live and learn something. I was learning the experience. Yes, you're welcome, he said. So I was living with them and, getting up from Mangalarti, the whole 9 yards. But I wasn't going to surrender, not become like a congregation member, but not a disciple. No. But then one day we're out in Harinam, doing, what's called the drag in Texas, in Guadalupe Street. The drag is called in Austin. The nickname, the drag. We're out on the drag doing Harinam, and some DJ from a radio station walks up. He handed something, the Radha Krishna Temple album. He said, it's too spiritual. Maybe you guys would like this. So we took it back to the temple, our little ashram on Dancy Street. And my service was vacuum the temple room rug every morning. He said, and we put it on the record player, and this I forget which cut, maybe it's the second cut in the album. Samsadadava nalalita loka Shranaya karyam naganaganatvam Praptashakaya nagunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanadavindam. And I heard that. That's our dear London disciples, Guridas, Jamuna, Mukunda, Janaki, Shamasundra, Malachi. They were singing, which says love. It was amazing. They were expressing their love for Prabhupada. And it was so powerful. I've never experienced love ever in my whole life. Real love is always just lust, so-called love. But now, for the first time in my life, hearing the London devotees singing, expressing their love for Prabhupada, something opened up. You see, something opened, some channel opened up, boom. And I was just awestruck. The tears were coming down my face. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be beautiful if I gave my life to Prabhupada? And I said, when can I get initiated? Well, I was getting ready, all right, I'm getting initiated. Yeah, become Prabhupada's disciple. Yeah. So now one wonderful thing was happening. Prabhupada was coming to San Francisco for the Ratha Yatra. Oh, yeah. So Vishnujan headed out with the two first boys who joined, Jim and Gary. And the rest of us, it was me, there was Ron, and there's Chris. We were going to come later on. He headed out. Jim had a four-wheel drive. It's called a Jeep. You go anywhere, the four-wheel drive. You can go anywhere in the country. It doesn't need a road. So Papa heard about that Jeep. The Vishnujan Swami had a Jeep. They could go anywhere. And Papa said, yes, that is sannyas. So anyway, they headed out, and now we're going to go. But then the GBC said, those boys have to stay back and keep the Senate open. They can't go to the Ratha Yatra. Oh, we can't go. Oh, it was devastating. But Vishnujan heard about it. He called the GBC and said, these boys don't have to run the Senate. Let them come. All right, they can go. Yeah. So Mahananda came down from Dallas. He and his wife in the front seat, and we three boys rode in the back seat. Yeah, we're going to see Prabhupada. Ki Jai. It was a long ride, but it was nectar. Every moment was nectar. Going to see Prabhupada. Going to see Prabhupada. Going to see Prabhupada. Going to see Prabhupada. So, in those days, there was no security in the airports, So we were all right there, where the tube comes into the terminal of the airplane. So there's 300 of us singing and dancing. There's like 250 on each side, like a corridor, So all the economies come off the plane. Of course, San Francisco was known for far out things in those days, the hippie movement. But they were awestruck. They came out in the middle of a huge, these kirtans like we have in the temple, huge, uproarious kirtans like we're having here. It was like that, a huge, uproarious kirtan, and they came up. And then finally, the last one, His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, he hit the pavement, and he was so short. I expected some big, tall, but he was short, but that was okay. And now in Vedic culture, there's an auspicious way you can greet an auspicious person. You put a trail of yogurt. So the devotees put a trail of yogurt through the airport terminal. And then you get out where the cars pick you up, and guess what? There was no car. There's actually pictures of this. There was no car. And Prabhupada stood there like an aristocratic gentleman waiting for his ride. He didn't show any anger. There's nice pictures. We're all standing around taking our darshan of Prabhupada, the whole crowd. There's pictures of this. Prabhupada standing there. Now we devotees in us are really stupid. We had a vehicle, and we could have of course it wasn't my decision, but it was Jim's vehicle. Jim could have offered Prabhupada a ride, and he didn't do it. We went to the Ratha site so we could be there, and Prabhupada arrived to greet him. We left Prabhupada behind at the airport. But anyway, we never got scolded for that one. We should have gotten scolded for that one. And now finally Prabhupada arrives. Oh wow, there's 300 devotees, and 3,000 of those people called hippies, right? And Prabhupada got on Lady Subhadра's car. I can never forget. So one of my first lotus words I heard coming from the lotus mouth, the most lotus-like person in the whole material existence. He said, "You have all seen God." Because Krishna said, "I'm the light of the sun." He said, and every day, when you drink water, if you remember Krishna as the taste of the water, immediately become Krishna conscious. Let me have a little Krishna consciousness here. Remembering Prabhupada's words. I'm going to become Krishna conscious now. Krishna is the taste, you see. So it's not difficult. Just drink water and remember Krishna. It's not difficult to be Krishna conscious. So anyway, then of course, I don't remember all the details when Prabhupada's in Frisco, but the next thing, going down to New Dwarka, the world headquarters in those days. It wasn't Mayapur, it was New Dwarka. Los Angeles was the world headquarters. BBT is still there. So there was a wonderful thing. Prabhupada would go for the morning walk. I was just, little pipsqueak. I couldn't go on the sannyasis and the temple presidents. I couldn't go on the walks, I was just one of the rank and file devotees. So anyway, there's a really nice thing. When Prabhupada would come back from the walk, he'd get out the curb, and there's a sidewalk. Let's see, you come back here and you come like this and go to his room back here. You see, there was a building here. It's now the temple room. In those days it wasn't. And there's some steps. You come like this. So anyway, it's a wonderful system. We would all line up along that single line, all the way down the sidewalk, and every devotee would have a flower. And Prabhupada had a basket of flowers, and Prabhupada would come to you. You have your own one-on-one, just you and Prabhupada having your own one-on-one, just like the loving exchange, Dadati Pradagranati. Prabhupada gives you a gift, and you give Prabhupada a gift, and he gives you a gift. You had your own one-on-one, just you and Prabhupada. For those few seconds, though you and Prabhupada having a loving exchange. It's your own moment, just you and Prabhupada. Can you imagine how sweet that was? Wow. So anyway, the first person in the queue was Vishnu Jana Swami. He got a hug. Woo. Now, being one of his men, I felt like I was getting hugged too, because I was one of his men. But anyway, I was maybe number 3 or 4 in the line. So Prabhupada came to me, I gave Prabhupada a flower, and now I have a flower in my hand, and Prabhupada. So householders can go down and put it in a nice glass case, but a brahmachari, what are you going to do? How can you save that flower? I ate it. It's just merged into my body, so I always have that flower, merged into my body. I'm going to keep that flower. So anyway, Prabhupada's coming down the line, and there's something when you see Prabhupada, it's not like seeing any ordinary thing. It's like seeing Krishna himself. Can you imagine seeing Krishna himself, face to face? Seeing Prabhupada is like seeing Krishna. Not different from seeing Krishna himself. So I call it, I say, when you see Prabhupada, I call it like this, drinking Prabhupada into your heart through your eyes. That's what I call it. Drinking Prabhupada into your heart through your eyes. So I went another darshan of this grand, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, the Jagat Guru, spiritual master of the whole universe. And I might have other darshans. So he's coming by. I got back here on the steps. So he's come like this, and as he finished the flower queue, he's coming in front of the building, and I stood on the steps so I could take another darshan of Prabhupada. He looked at me. Here's somebody not in the flower queue. Prabhupada looked up at me. He took personal notice of me, little old me. He took personal notice of me. He saw I was not in the flower queue. He was wondering, I wonder if this devotee got a flower or not yet. And he held up one like face, body language. Did you get one yet? Like this. And I said, yes, I had my flower. So I showed him my flower. So it was so special. Prabhupada took personal notice of me to make sure I'd gotten a flower. So that was my second exchange with Prabhupada. He asked me and I said yes, you see. So that was very special. And they had, in those days, Prabhupada would chant the japa. He would chant the beads of that person in the ceremony itself. So but there was many, but they had break up into many hours long ceremony, broken up over 2 days, because he would chant the japa beads in the ceremony for each initiate. So guess what? Bhakta Steve had only been chanting for 5 months, and I couldn't get initiated. Oh my God. They were saying, Prabhupada's an old man, he can die at any time. And oh my God, what if I don't get initiated? So I went between the two buildings and I was crying, tears coming from my face. I was crying. Oh, if I miss this opportunity, if I miss this opportunity. I was so much in total anxiety. So anyway, we headed back to Austin. And guess what? Another month went by. So Vishnujan wrote to Prabhupada out, me and Chris and Ron. And Prabhupada sent the beads. Now guess what? I didn't get Tulsi beads. They were neem. Let me ask you, they always say use Tulsi, right? Now if you got neem beads for Prabhupada, you would be disturbed? Why Prabhupada didn't send me Tulsi? Would you be disturbed? Heck no. Prabhupada chanting, they're better than Tulsi. Prabhupada chanting these beads. I still have them. They're my greatest treasure, you see. I guard them very carefully. When I travel, they go in a special pocket inside my pickpocket-proof vest. Nobody can ever steal them. So anyway, and now I got the name Sankarshan Das. Probably another name for Vishnu. He just had to find it. So what do you do at the initiate? You collect dakshina, right? It's an interesting side note. Shan Prabhu was acting as the president. Vishnu had gone to San Antonio. He came into the ceremony. Shan had been in London where we got the Beatles in the Krishna consciousness. So he thought we could get any big person. He invited the mayor of the state capital, the mayor of Austin, to come to the ceremony. And the mayor showed up. The mayor of Austin attended the initiation ceremony. My parents are really impressed. Must be a really important thing. The mayor has come. My dad is sitting chatting with the mayor of Austin during my initiation ceremony. And the neighbors called the police. Were disturbing the peace. And there was the mayor. He sent the police on their way. Interesting side note. But anyway, so now you collect the dakshina. I had 3 checks. I mailed it off to London to Prabhupada. And like a pucka accountant, Prabhupada said I received 3 checks for this amount, and this amount. And I told Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I want to spread this movement, you see. He's a hippie, a songwriter. I might have spark off a world and peace revolution. I had this mood of revolutionizing the world already as a hippie singer-songwriter. But now I was being transcendentalized with a real formula for world peace, Krishna consciousness, instead of, some hippie idea. So I said, Prabhupada, I want to spread this movement. He wrote me back the most wonderful, encouraging words that had been sitting with me for 53 years in my heart. He said, I can see you're a very sincere and enthusiastic boy. He said, now continue enthusiastically as you were doing, and surely Krishna will bless you. Wow. Now I ask you, is that instruction any less potent today than it was 53 years ago? Is Prabhupada dead and gone? No. Prabhupada is here with me right now, giving me that instruction right now. So I'm trying to be enthusiastic when I give this presentation on Prabhupada's order. Be enthusiastic. So you all can become enthused also to spark off a global spiritual revolution. Ki jai. You understand my point? Yeah. So anyway, then the most wonderful thing happened. At the end, in that blue ink pen, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And then after he signed his name with the same pen, he put a P.S. P.S. We're going to Nairobi on Friday night. Now, that was not the official guru-disciple relationship. That was like father and son, the family member. So I knew not only the disciple, I'm the son, also Prabhupada's son, that he's telling me what his next travel plan is. So that sits with me eternally. P.S. We're going to Nairobi on Friday night. So anyway, in those days, the biggies got to go with the Prabhupada, this little rank and file brahmachari, But anyway, now let's see the next time I connected with Prabhupada. I was sent to Dallas, and in Dallas I was invited to join what was called the Road Show. Remember the Road Show? So devotees using rock and roll to preach. You're not that body, we're all pure spirits, so ba-bum. So we were rehearsing at New Vrindavan, getting out in the cornfield, running the extension cord from the farmhouse out of the cornfield, practicing our rock opera out in the cornfield. And then a wonderful thing happened. Prabhupada was coming to New Vrindavan for Janmashtami and Vyas Puja. Oh, wow. Prabhupada's coming. Oh, wow. Janmashtami. Now, in India, fasting is pretty common in India, right? Fasting, fasting for Americans. Fasting? My God. You never dreamed of such a thing as fasting. But in Janmashtami, you fast all the way to midnight. Oh, my God. Well, we got to gut it out for Prabhupada. If we're going to gut it out for please Prabhupada, we're going to fast. So now the midnight arti, the Radharamanuja are there on the... Oh, that's a whole other story. I'll go with that one too. They were traveling, the roadshow people were traveling with Radha and Krishna deities. And the school bus was right, boom, boom, boom. So they used ropes to tie him up so they wouldn't fall over. And Prabhupada heard about it. He said, you can name that naughty boy Damodar. So that's how they got the Radharamanuja name. Prabhupada named Radha and Krishna as Radharamanuja. So we had Radharamanuja there on the altar, Janmashtami. And now finally midnight has come. I think we had Prasadam placed in our hand, if I remember correctly. Yeah, right. Yeah, midnight has come. The arti, and then Kijai, we get to take Prasadam. And then Prabhupada said, now we will read Krishna book. Got to surrender, right? To the Guru, right? One chapter. And so I said another chapter. And then third chapter, I would say, this is the understatement of the century. Prabhupada said, I think you're getting impatient. So we took Prasadam, Now during this whole festival, the 2-day festival, we were all drinking the nectar of Prabhupada's association. There's the one devotee who was not allowed to go. He was in some kind of shed cooking over an open fire. The name was Shuta Kirti Das Brahmachari. He was in so much anxiety, I can't see Prabhupada, For 2 days he couldn't go to see Prabhupada or hear him. He had to stay in the kitchen and cook for hundreds of devotees. But after the festival, guess what? He became Prabhupada's personal servant. Anyway, that's a whole other story. You can hear from him the details. Because he was surrendered, he was made Prabhupada's personal servant. But anyway, now back to the Vyasa Puja. It's a nice Vyasa Puja. And then, now the next thing, we rehearsed do this rock opera. And now they got a hall in Pittsburgh, a big hall called the Syrian Mosque. And there we were, we had long hair wigs, pretending like we were smoking marijuana and all that. And we were up on the stage, and Prabhupada, they gave him the Vyasa in the center aisle of the whole auditorium. And he was watching from a Vyasa in the center aisle. And Prabhupada said, the hippies are doing their business. And then Prabhupada started joking, are those all our men up there? And in those days, devotees didn't applaud. Only karmis applaud. But after every song, only one person in the audience applauded. That was Prabhupada. An interesting side note, the next day, Vishnujan had Prabhupada's darshan, and after the darshan, he came and told me what Prabhupada had told him. Normally, Radharani's feet never show, but Prabhupada said, in the rock opera, you can show Radharani's feet. It's a little side note. So anyway, Then the roadshow merged with the New York Temple. The idea was to make an off-Broadway production, but then the whole idea was scrapped. And Vishnu John had me join what became the Vrindavan Party. We went to Miami, and then in Miami, transferred me to Gainesville. In Gainesville, they originally had, Gargamuni Swami had opened it up, and Amaran and his wife Gayatri had joined, and a few others. But then there was a whole era and intro called the centralization era, close all the small centers and centralize in the big centers. So Gainesville was closed, but then Amaran and his wife came to reopen it. And I joined them. It was so sweet. It was like a mother and father and son, the three of us. And so I was sent to what's called the Plaza of the Americas to preach. I took some Simply Wonderfuls and did harmonium and something like that. And I gave a boy a Simply Wonderful. He joined the movement. Steve Silverman became Shamakunda Das. This one was Simply Wonderful. It reminds me what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada was asked, Srila Prabhupada, what happens when we give somebody a Simply Wonderful? Prabhupada said he will eat that wonderful sweet, he will come to your temple and he will become Simply Wonderful. And Krishna is Simply Wonderful, and he said, and you are all Simply Wonderful. And the devotee said, Prabhupada is Simply Wonderful. And Prabhupada said, that's all right, have kirtan. So anyway, now I'm just a rank and file, all the biggies, the presidents are going to be in Mayapur with the Prabhupada. And I'm in total separation for many years, actually. 72, I had that nice association. Now it's 73, 74. Many years are going by, no association with Prabhupada. Of course, I could write letters. When I first joined, I asked Vishnudan Swami a question there in Austin. He said, I don't know, why don't you write Prabhupada? So, well, if I can write Prabhupada, so I was writing Prabhupada, and I was getting wonderful answers. Quite a few times, it was going back. I asked him, what are the rules for brahmachari? And that was a famous letter that went all over ISKCON. The answer the Prabhupada gave me about brahmachari. So anyway, now there was a new policy. There was so many letters coming in. Now only the GBCs, temple presidents, sannyasis, the rank and file cannot write letters anymore. They cut my connection out with Prabhupada. It's cut. I can't write him letters anymore. So what did I do? I cheated. I wrote a letter anyway. I didn't put my name on the return address, hoping he would get through security. And Prabhupada answered me. He was so kind. He told me about the new policy, but he said, but if there's any urgent matter, I'm always happy to hear from my beloved disciples. Can you imagine his kindness? My beloved, so every disciple was very beloved. Every disciple was, Prabhupada treated every disciple as the most beloved person in the whole world. That was the love we got from Prabhupada. So, but I wrote, after that, I knew I didn't write, maybe one more time, I didn't write anymore because I knew I could if I wanted to. I didn't write, but I knew I had that connection. I had an intimate connection with my beloved spiritual master, whenever I wanted to. If I had an urgent need, he would always reply with love. So anyway, we had a wonderful, then we started taking a lunch every day at the Plaza of the Americas. I made so many devotees. Amarandrapa would come out every day. We used to call them the Mickey Mouse Mayavadis, the students. And he would smash them and make them devotees. We went for we had the upstairs of a house, and we went to the whole house. Then we ended up getting 2 buildings on Depot Avenue. A dormitory, 2-story dormitory. It would be a huge success preaching there. It was a wonderful success. And they got Alachua from that. A very wonderful expansion of our movement. But I'm sitting there not going to associate with Prabhupada. Then a wonderful thing happened. Prabhupada's coming to Atlanta, just maybe 100, 200 miles north from Gainesville. Prabhupada's coming to Atlanta. Oh, wow. After so many years of not seeing my beloved spiritual master, now I get to see Prabhupada again. It was so wonderful. Prabhupada came to Atlanta. The day before I arrived, he gave the most wonderful arrival address. I missed it by one day, but it's there on the recordings, the MP3 recordings. Prabhupada all they had was 2 big deities of Gaura-Nitai at that time. And Prabhupada very much enthused, although he said, I've been to Caracas, I've been to Miami, but I can see your temple is the best. And the whole devotees exploded in ecstasy. Prabhupada, your temple is the best. They've been in total ecstasy. So anyway, Prabhupada is saying how Lord Krishna makes a condition for us to surrender, but Sri Gauranitai make no such condition. And Prabhupada's heart melted talking about the mercy of Nitai Gaur, and he couldn't speak. He went into total ecstasy. He just started crying. He couldn't continue. After 5 minutes, the whole lecture was finished. You can hear that in the MP3. Look at the arrival lecture in Atlanta in '75, and your heart will melt. Everybody should go there and hear that. It's just a very heart-melting lecture. I came the next day, and it was very wonderful. Of course, being a rank and file, never being able to get close to Prabhupada in the morning walks or the darshans or anything. But now I have a chance. What I would do during the lectures, I would get, here's Prabhupada, here's the Vyasa-san. I would stand right here. I was like a few inches away from Prabhupada. I'd get as close as I could without sitting on his lap. I would get as close as I could physically to Prabhupada, you see. And, there was somebody who was getting to be within 24. His name was Shruti Kirti Prabhu. He's here in Vrindavan. So he was Prabhupada's personal servant. So one day I remember I looked over Prabhupada's lap. Prabhupada sitting, I gazed over Prabhupada's lap, and there was Shruti Kirti Prabhu. He gave me the most beautiful, loving smile. Just beaming at me, the most beautiful, loving smile. And to me, it was an experience, it was a genuine experience, that Prabhupada's unlimited mercy was bouncing off him like a mirror and beaming on me. So I can never forget Shruti Kirti Prabhu that day when he acted as a mirror for Prabhupada's mercy and beamed his mercy on me. So then a very unusual thing happened. Prabhupada decided to give a song class. This was not done in those days in '75. Very rare, maybe in the early days, but not in '75. Prabhupada decided to do a song class. Padama, a song by Lochandas Thakur about the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. Padama Kradana Pahundvijana Nitai Gora Chandra Padama Kradana Pahundvijana Nitai Gora Chandra Vishaya Chadi. In this way, Prabhupada is going on. It was so sweet. You can imagine how sweet it was. Oh, it was so sweet. Prabhupada's love for Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, it was radiating, purifying the whole universe. It was so powerful. And then, when he was recording it, he said, now, play back the recording. I wouldn't play back, I kept recording mine. Let somebody else play theirs back. And then Prabhupada took Madanga, and he played Madanga to hearing his own recording. And I recorded that too, but unfortunately the tape got messed up, I lost it. But I was recording him playing Madanga to a recording of him singing. It was so wonderful. So another wonderful thing happened when Prabhupada's in Atlanta. Guess what? So I got to be alone with Prabhupada, just me and Prabhupada all alone in the room. Oh, in Prabhupada's room. Now, I was a little confused because, there's 7 mantras you chant, and you chant each one 10 times, so like 70. So I was wondering, do you loop the loop? You go first mantra, second mantra, third mantra. Do you go that 10 times like that, or do you do the first one 10 times, the second one 10 times? I was confused. And I told Prabhupada, he showed me how you chant the first one 10 times, the second one 10 times in that way. Of course, he puts the Brahman thread over your head, and it was so wonderful. Yes. So anyway, we go back to Gainesville, and I was a bit rough and really puffed up on those days. The temple president who couldn't handle me would send me to another temple. Later on, things got better. They were competing who would get me. But in the early days, I was to go somewhere else. I was too puffed up. They couldn't handle me. But after that, they were competing who would get me. That kind of mellowed out after a while. But anyway, Amrana couldn't handle me anymore. He sent me to Atlanta. But he always remembered how I had pioneered that, and that program is still going on now. It's a big program in Gainesville. After half a century, it's still going on, the lunch program in Gainesville. I was the one who pioneered it for 3 years, taking out that every day to lunch. So anyway, he remembered that. So anyway, after I left, the campus authorities said, you Hare Krishnas can't do this program anymore on the campus. You're banned from the campus. So you remember what happened? The Qazi banned the kirtan? Remember that? Lord Chaitanya, they marched in the house of the Kazi with a huge kirtan. So Amarendra sent everybody out in defiance of the Kazi order. And guess what? The police came. They put handcuffs on the devotees. Devotees refused to walk to the squad cars. They dragged the devotees across the campus. Physically dragged them, put them in the squad cars. What do you think the students did when they heard that? When they saw that, they're booing the police. So we took them to court, and guess who won? We won. ISKCON defeated those rascal campus administrators, and now... So anyway, so Amarendra, remembering my devotion to that program, he sent the photographs of the police dragging the devotees across the campus to me in Atlanta, and you sent them to Prabhupada. So that gave me another connection with Prabhupada. I got to mail those pictures to Prabhupada, you see. So, in this way, you see. So, I'm trying to think in other ways I connected with Prabhupada. Of course, in that lecture, it was the appearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada told us a wonderful story of how Lord Zetland, Prabhupada's godbrother, had met with Lord Zetland. It was previously the governor of Bengal. And actually, Prabhupada had heard him when he was a young student at Scottish Churches College. So Lord Zetland is now in the U.S., in Britain, and Prabhupada's godbrother was preaching to him, and Lord Zetland said, Swamiji, can you make me a Brahmin? He said, yes, I can make you a Brahmin, as long as you follow no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. Lord Zetland immediately replied, impossible. So Prabhupada told us that day in Atlanta, I was thinking when I come to your country, it would be impossible to make them devotees. But then Prabhupada said, let me try. And when I heard that, I said, Jai, and when I started Jai, the devotees thought this is a good place, and the whole room had jumped in Jai. It sparked off a big Jai from the whole temple room. Jai, and everybody, because that's how because Prabhupada tried the impossible, what he thought was impossible, therefore now we've all been saved, you see. So this is the great mercy of Srila Prabhupada. I sometimes ponder because Prabhupada said that in 18 days we can make the whole world Krishna conscious, that we become pure conscious. By the influence of the Sankirtan movement, we can have Ram Raja. Many times he says, the other son, he says it's impossible. It's impossible for the whole world to become Krishna conscious. So how to understand these apparently contradictory, I made this point in my class the other day too, how to understand these apparently contradictory statements. Well, with the mercy of Krishna, the impossible becomes possible. That's all I can say. It's impossible for these rascals. It's possible for the slaughterhouse to be closed and the abortion clinics. It's impossible, isn't it? Yes, it's clearly impossible. But by the grace of Krishna, the impossible becomes possible. So, of course, the time went on, and then that horrible moment for all of us, at 77. I was a cook in Houston at that time. And I remember, I heard the news, I immediately went in and bowed down in a very sorrowful mood to Prabhupada's Vyasa. I remember that moment, that now Prabhupada has departed. But Prabhupada told us in Atlanta that my spiritual master is always with me, he's seeing me. So in this same way, Prabhupada is not really departed, he is only apparently departed. If we hold fast to the instructions given to us by Srila Prabhupada, he's always with us. He even said, if your heart is pure, you can actually directly hear the spiritual master talking to you within the heart. So, if we simply hold tight to the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, we'll never be separated from him. And any feelings of separation, we should use that to increase our hankering to please him. Increase our hankering to please him, because when we please him, he's directly present with us, blessing us and guiding us at every minute. So in this way, let us take Srila Prabhupada as his orders are very life and soul. We're all Prabhupada Anugas here, the disciples, the grand disciples, the great grand disciples that will go on for the next 10,000 years, you see. Let us take our dedication to reading his books, distributing his books, understanding his books, and following books as our very life and soul. We are all meant to please Prabhupada with every thought, word, and deed in every situation. If we try to do something different, not what you like, what does Prabhupada want? I want to, just like I told Prabhupada said, no beards, for example. So I had one disciple in Bulgaria growing the beard. I asked him to shave it off. He said, no. I said, why? Because I like it. You see? So it's not what I like. It's not what pleases me, it's what pleases Prabhupada. That's why we have to think. As long as we think what I like, then we're putting ourselves at the center of this movement. But Prabhupada is the center of this movement, not me or you. What does Prabhupada want? Is it? That's the way you have to think. So we have about 9 minutes left. Anybody have any questions? Yes, Maharaj.
Which year did you join?
I joined in 71. I got the initiation letter in August of 71, from London to Austin, Texas. Yeah. Yeah, I was one of those Johnny-come-latelys, you see. I could have joined, I could have joined back in 69 in Berkeley, but I wasn't ready for it. I was too puffed up. I was still polluted by Mayavadi philosophy. I liked the mantra. I really liked the mantra, but I went to the temple. The first day I arrived in Haight-Ashbury, I went to the temple and I was chanting Hare Krishna in the temple room because I liked the mantra. Some Brahmachari said, oh, you're chanting so nicely. I was thinking, she only knew that I'm Krishna. Mayavadi, completely Mayavadi. If she only knew that I am Krishna. So I wasn't ready to join yet. I thought I was Krishna. I haven't been polluted by all these Mayavadis, We were there in Austin, and when Swami came to the Methodist Student Center, and he said, I'm God, you're God, and we're all God. So I've been polluted by it. On the one hand, I had this feeling of being devoted to Krishna. On the other hand, I thought that it was like a dual, contradictory thing. Mayavadi and like a devotee and Mayavadi kind of mixed together. Not a very compatible mix, but that's what kept me from surrendering. And actually, later on that year, Mukkanlal took me. I was in Berkeley, and he took me with him to stay and spend the night at Frederick Street. And I remember spending that. We slept down in the basement. We got up in the morning, and I chanted my first round of japa. And then I was hitchhiking back to Berkeley, and I was in complete ecstasy. And I was a songwriter in those days, writing many songs. So that night I wrote a song predicting that soon I'd become spiritually enlightened. I said, do you think I'd waste my time playing around in misery when I'm so close to nirvana? I had this feeling after chanting one round of japa that spiritual enlightenment was coming soon to me. I had this intuitive, I knew it was coming. And it did happen finally in Austin, you see. So I went through a very innocent, it's all my book, The Divine Love Memoir, all the details. Divine Love Memoir available on Amazon.com. The Divine Love Memoir. And yes, we all have amazing stories. Every devotee has an absolutely unlimitedly amazing story. We all have amazing stories. How we came. It's amazing how Prabhupada reached out and grabbed every one of us. Some came in this way, some came in the way, but Prabhupada got all of us. As I mentioned at the very beginning, not all of you were here then, but I was a youth going after the American dream. But that day, then Prabhupada set his foot on Commonwealth Pier in Boston. And just around that time, my whole perspective of life changed. Instead of going after the American dream, I wanted to know, what is the meaning of life? Why do I exist? That was my burning conviction. I must find out what is the meaning of life, you see. So Prabhupada has great power. His presence has great power, and if we strictly follow his teachings, we follow and preach according to his instructions, then Prabhupada's, that potency, that bhakti shakti of Prabhupada is still present right here, right now on this planet. The same shakti, the bhakti shakti that Prabhupada manifests, anybody who strictly follows Prabhupada, they can manifest the same potency as his instrument, you see. This reminds me of a discussion between Vishnujana and Prabhupada. Because Bhaktivinoda in one place says, I'm leaving this world with my work unfinished. So Prabhupada wanted to know, Vishnujana wanted to know, what does that mean? And Prabhupada said, that is his mercy. Now he said that we can finish it. So these great acharyas, actually they could have personally have the power to completely liberate the whole material existence. Actually they do. But they have left this work for us, not that we can do something they couldn't do, but we, as their instruments, we can act, that they can, through us, they can do it. So that's my understanding. That now we can actually as instruments in the hands of Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas, now we can actually do what they could have done it personally, but to give us the chance, they've given us the opportunity now to be the instruments for pulling off a global spiritual revolution. This reminds me, one day we're heading out on a world around tour from Austin, Texas, world around preaching tour. And I was realizing, as I looked at all these karmis in the airport, the Austin airport, actually every one of them is a devotee, but it's sleeping right now within their hearts. So it's already predicted the whole world has become Krishna conscious. It's there, the Chaitanya era. And after 5,000 years, the whole world has become inundated and drowned in this. It's predicted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also. This whole world will be inundated by this tidal wave of love of God. So I realized that those devotees who dedicate their lives to preaching, they would go down in history as the saviors of the world, you see. So not that we're after name and fame, but we want to do this service to please Prabhupada and the previous acharyas. So we take this duty as preachers, men, women, kids, anyone, Indians, Americans, Germans, French, doesn't matter what your designation is, every one of us are Prabhupada Nugas. And if we take the Prabhupada gave us the order of Lord Chaitanya, Jari Deka Tadikaha, Krishna Upadesamaragayo Guru Harataya Desh. Wherever you meet, instruct them in the teachings of Krishna, in this main order, you become Guru to live with the people of this world. You see? So we take this order as our life and soul. My duty is to be a world deliverer as a Prabhupada's instrument, you see. In the hands of Prabhupada, to bring about a world deliverance transformation. If we take that very seriously, then those persons who do, they will go on in the history as the saviors of the world. Not that they want the credit, but they will get the credit. You see. It will come to them automatically. So let us not be lazy or crazy. Let us actually take this world deliverance mission, embrace it as our very life and soul, and to do that, we have to become pure devotees. We can only spread it to the extent that we're pure. Physician, heal thyself. To whatever extent we can actually become purified, to that extent we have the potency for sparking off a global spiritual revolution. So let us take it very seriously now to become pure devotees. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing I mentioned in Prabhupada's instruction. Because I had previously been a popular singer-songwriter, showing the stage with the airplane and the dead. This idea of having a big impact on the world as a singer-songwriter. So I asked Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, can I aspire to become Jagat Guru? Prabhupada said yes. But he said, but all material desires zero. And he underlined all material. When he signed it, all material desires. So I got my order from Prabhupada. I know I haven't gotten it yet. I'm begging the mercy of all the Vaishnavas and Prabhupada. I'm still not there yet, I'll be honest with you. I'm still polluted with so much lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. But I'm trying now to follow Prabhupada's order. All material desires zero, so I can be a potent instrument in the hands of Srila Prabhupada for changing the course of world history. I'm begging his mercy for doing that. All material desires zero. So you all please bless me, that now I can become all material desires zero. I'm begging your blessing. All material desires zero, especially our Maharshi. Please bless me, all material desires zero. Flush them all out. Flush them out. Okay, that's it. We have 60 seconds left. Oh yeah, quick question, okay.
How could we remain ever enthusiastic?
How to remain always enthusiastic? Well, for me, I have Prabhupada's order. I have to be fired up. I have a poetic way of saying either fired up or you're fried out. That's an old saying in ISKCON. I'm really fried, Prabhu. In the old ISKCON, it's part of the ISKCON jargon. Prabhu, I'm fried. We used to say that back in the early days of ISKCON. I'm fried, Prabhu. So either be fired up or fried out, your choice. So if you take the order of Prabhupada, for me it's easy. You're my disciple, I'm passing on to you. Now always be enthusiastic. It's Prabhupada ordered me, I'm ordering you. So it's coming down to you, that's the order. Come here, Prabhupada, be me to you, as my disciple. Now you must always be enthusiastic. So take it as the order of your spiritual master coming from Prabhupada. Is it? You must now be always enthusiastic to push forward this movement and to drive all the dirt out of your heart. Yes? Yes?
Please accept my humble obeisance first. And it was really a wonderful class where you're explaining about your relationship with your spiritual master. And I see your feelings are so fresh. It's just it happened maybe yesterday or today.
What is it?
Your feelings,
What's he saying?
He says your experiences are as if it happened just yesterday.
Huh?
Your experiences are just as if it happened yesterday.
Yesterday happened?
No, he's basically trying to tell that it is your experience.
My hearing is malfunctioning right now. So tell me right close. It's malfunctioning on me right now.
Your experience with Srila Prabhupada is as if it happened just yesterday.
No, right now. Not yesterday. Right now, I can see Prabhupada right now. And anyway, one last word. Anybody who was inspired by this, we have a free online course. You go to www.joincourse.com. I send a daily broadcast and I answer all your questions personally via email as well. www.joincourse.com. It's available right now for you on the internet. So that's it. I'm going overtime, and I got to stop here. So are you the next speaker?
Yes.
Jai. Now our dear Maharaj is going to bless his wonderful memories of Srila Prabhupada and how Prabhupada is impacting his life in so many wonderful ways. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.